we're not using that one. Sit down. You've ruined it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Cancelling the show now.
Yeah. Bryce disobeyed me, so we're cancelling the show. Welcome to the Unseen Hour. You are about to see, some of you may be familiar with the show, some may not, but you're about to see 2 episodes of a horror comedy audio drama back to back, each one interrupted by a monologue and a musical act. Interrupt.
When do we get back to talking?
So, I think that's all that needs to be.
Yeah, I think that's all you just said.
It all makes sense.
Leave if you don't like it, stay if you do.
You'll get it. Alright, time to go.
Oh, there's more. What's your sound?
It's just me.
Oh yeah, let's start.
You got your first cue.
Wait.
It takes a couple of pages for you to get going.
Yeah,
Hang on. Oh, Jimmy.
Get ready.
Spoilers.
There it is.
Shut your eyes. Stop your ears. Do not be deceived. Your senses are not to be trusted. The facts are not the facts. The truth is not the truth. Reality turns about an axis of perspective. Indisputable certainty, on second glance, reveals itself to be corrupt, twisted, shot through with lies. At the unseen hour. The island of Polton is the site of a game, a government scheme funded both by the Department of Immigration and the Arts Council, whose existence was supposed to offer hope to those in dire need of safety, protection, and sanctuary. The idea was simple. Escape the island, win the game. Win the game, and leave behind the deprivation and danger of your own life for a future with opportunities and prospects. But in the months after the camp opened, it became clear that while thousands upon thousands arrive on Polton, nobody leaves. The world's most inescapable escape game became little more than an overcrowded and undersupplied prison for the world's desperate and destitute.
Yep, that's me, hello! Refugee from a distant war-torn dictatorship. Having fled my childhood home, leaving behind friends, family, everything I held dear. Running a gauntlet of unforgiving and deadly hostile environments. Growing up hungry and alone. Learning about the terrible injustices of the world until I arrive at the borders of a country that prizes freedom and democracy above all things. Which promptly threw me into this grotesque prison theme park, from whence I intend to rise as a revolutionary leader, throwing off the yoke of the tyrannical bureaucracies. Just a bit about me there, in case you were wondering.
No, I don't think we want to be part of any uprising.
It's suicide! And anyway, this camp may be awful, but it's the only one we've got. And we should be satisfied with it.
That's right. The government works very hard in our interest. We shouldn't be ungrateful.
Have you gone balmy? They've left us here to rot. How about you? You're with me, aren't you?
We can't just give up. We have to have hope.
I do have hope. I'm hoping to make it till dinner time.
He's right. We'll only make it worse by causing a fuss. Best to play the game we're supposed to. Just imagine winning.
Nobody ever has.
The game is designed to make it impossible, to make it seem as though this atrocity is our fault. We are trapped here on purpose. We have to stand together.
What? Hello, what's all this noise? We'll have no trouble here. This is an unsanctioned congregation. You are in violation of the regulations of this, the Oceanic Oubliette Escape Entertainment with a pression of outstanding outsiders. Disperse immediately!
We will not, fascist!
I'm with you, Mr. Fawkes. We will not be moved.
Hurrah!
But
Yeah.
please. Listen, I'll have to use my billy club if you don't disperse. Back up! Please back up, officers! Help!
What's the trouble?
You'd need some heads cracked. It would be a pleasure.
Charles, give me an excuse.
Okay, there. Hold on. I'm sure we can split the difference, and let's all just be reasonable for a moment.
Freedom or death!
I know which I'd pick.
Oh, yeah?
For you.
What?
Death!
Oh!
It would be death. Wait. You, Officer Strideforth. Don't you see the injustice here?
I'm just doing my job.
Oh, yeah. And if your job was to jump off a cliff, would you do that?
Well, what are the hours? Does it have a dental plan?
All we're asking for is our basic human rights. The conditions here are disgraceful.
How dare you! Our nation is a very cosmopolitan nation and has a proud heritage of upholding human rights about the globe. And now disperse or get tased.
No, Officer Yagchek. Hold on a moment. These honest, earthy, stinking freedom fighters are right. We are cogs in an evil machine. How have I been so blind? This dystopic system has clearly brainwashed us into this reprehensible behavior.
Watch it, Strideforth. That sounds like insubordination. We wouldn't want to have to take you back for reprogramming.
Oh, it's too late for all that, Kent. My eyes are open now. These two heroes have awakened my suppressed sense of empathy, and I'm going to help them change the world. Now give me that taser.
Hey!
Quick! This way!
Hooray!
I dropped the taser!
Don't let them get away! Nobody leaves!
Well, I'm glad we left. There's the helicopter. I'll hold them off long enough for you to make it to the mainland.
But what about you?
Me? I'm just a stupid, cowardly stooge of this oppressive government. Folks, there is the real genius of political reform.
Oh, stop.
He needs you more than I do. If that helicopter leaves and you're not with him, you'll regret it.
No.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but probably both. And for the rest of your life. Your short, miserable little life. Only promise me that the two of you will continue the good fight and make the world a better place.
We definitely will.
Oh, good.
We're going to change everything. Folks, start the helicopter.
Yes. Good, there we go, it's starting up. Now go! Go on that helicopter! I believe in you!
Goodbye! Congratulations on your ethical awakening!
There he is!
Let's murder him!
No, stand down. Strideforth, you have defied my evil plans and allowed the heroic young refugees a chance at life. This has a terrible significance. It may even have brought the Oceanic Oubliette escape entertainment with oppression for outstanding outsiders to its knees. You know what this means.
What does it mean?
It means I must now take you away and torture you to death. Follow me now into this soundproof and unsurveilled monologue.
Oh, no!
This way, please.
Okay, just coming.
Well, for one thing, I've always hated the sound of music. It's not the film specifically, it's music generally I dislike. Though I suppose what with the Sound of Music being a musical, it would struggle to make a dent in my top 5. It's a bit unusual to despise music so much, I suppose. It all started when I was quite young. Remember, I was reading this book about spiders. You see, and the thing is, there are some spiders, according to my book, that actually use music in order to eat each other. It's true, honestly, you look it up. It's the Portia spider, that's the one. You see, what it does is it lurks at the edge of another spider's web and it will pluck. Right? It will pluck very gently on one of them silk threads, and the vibrations caused by that plucking, right, they put the other spider into such a relaxed state, such a deep calm, that it will forget all about defending itself. That's the effect music can have. And that's nature. And of course, the other spider is so relaxed, it doesn't even notice that the Portia spider until it's too late. Before the other spider knows what's happening, the Portia spider's jumped on its back, injected it with venom, which kills it instantly, pumped it full of digestive juice, which breaks its body down as solid into liquid matter, and begun to suck its corpse dry. Now, I mention this only because, there's a lot of pressure in these sort of situations to keep conversation going, but I'm very comfortable with silence. It's not awkward to me, so it's just one less thing for you to worry about. Ever since then, I've been suspicious of music. Now I just can't stand it. It brings me out in this sweat, and I'm not a sweaty man. Well, not without provocation. But whenever I hear music, I just think, what if someone's playing it, plucking the string because they're waiting to pounce on me, suck me dry? It's an unpleasant thought. So naturally, I tend to avoid places where I'll encounter it, just the sort of places you expect music to be played, like clubs, that sort of thing, and restaurants, and parties, the cinema, churches, community centres, funeral homes, airport departure lounges, just that sort of thing. And I can't ring up someone on the phone because you do sometimes get put on hold, and I suppose that can make life awkward for some people, but I just try to be adaptable. After I'd learned about that Portia spider, I became more and more keen on the sound of silence. Not the song, of course. In fact, that'd be one of my least favourite pieces of music of them all, if I was to make a comprehensive list, that is. When I first saw its title, naturally, I was intrigued. But as soon as the guitar part started, swiftly followed by the vocals, I felt I'd been rather misled. No, it's the actual sound of silence. That's what fascinates me. Because you see, it's a very elusive sound. You can never quite hear it. You could turn everything off and have no one around, but there's still always something, even if it's only your own heartbeat. So I told my aunt and uncle about my quest for silence, as it were, and I suppose they were a bit alarmed at first, but then they indulged me. I think they just want to be happy under the circumstances. So when I turned 13, they gave me my own microphone and a tape recorder I could use. Maybe you'll be the first person to capture silence, my uncle said. Yeah, like I was a brave explorer. I'll never forget it. I was so excited I took it to school with me. I searched out for quiet places and make my recordings, and the variety I found. If I went out on the playing field early in the morning before anyone else was around, it'd be a completely different kind of silence to at the end of the day. And I could listen to it in my headphones after I recorded it. Imagine if I was somewhere else. Like the school playing field could be like a battleground with me as the sole survivor. Or I could cram myself in the physics cupboard at break time, record for just a few moments, and if it was like I was in a mine shaft hundreds of feet below the earth, and every creak was some little creature tunnelling its way just a few inches of rock above me. I made over 100 recordings, all different, and when I listened to them, it was like being wrapped in a blanket. It wasn't true silence, though. There was always something. It all came to a head this one lunchtime when I was behind the school chapel recording a bird. I was just looking for something I could take a recording of. When I noticed it lying there, its neck was sort of twisted and its wing looked like a drawing. Its body was very small, and I pressed my microphone against its breast, pressed record, and I started to listen with my headphones over my ears. And at first the microphone rustled some feathers, but as I shut my eyes, there it was. Nothing. No heartbeat. I'd got it. I'd captured silence. The bird and me had found something no one had ever heard. It was wonderful. And I was listening so hard that I didn't hear Daniel Bouvier come up behind me. He must have been skulking behind the chapel, grabbed my headphones, snatched the microphone away from me, and he was shouting, "What are you doing, Peter?" He said, "What are you doing, freak?" Soon a crowd had formed, as they do, and they all started shouting. It was so loud, laughing, cheering Daniel Bouvier on, and all that din. My microphone was still on, so I might have heard all that, and then they all went, whoa, whoa, as Daniel swung my microphone round by its wires in a big circle. I tried to stop him, but he pushed me away. Then everyone stopped shouting as he threw it up in the air. I held my arms out, try and catch it, but the wire caught on the chapel spire. It was just hanging there, clattering on the metal. Everyone laughed. It was hanging there for a few minutes before it uncoiled, bounced along the roof, smashed on the gravel. Ruined. Daniel Bouvier had gone by then. I remember thinking, I wish I could climb up there. I wish I could crawl up the tiles all the way to the spire, to the top of the chapel, get my microphone and my recording back, and then I could just sit there, wrapped up in the silence for days until the next time Daniel Bouvier came by. And then I could play the sound of the bird. And if he just listened once, he'd hear it too. He'd be so calm. He wouldn't even care if I was crouched behind him, plucking that string. Then, when I was ready to pounce. Listen to that. It's nice when you think about it. But it's not the same. Sorry, can I get you a drink?
Excuse me, sir. I notice you're shivering. Would you like an extra blanket?
Oh, well, that's your blanket, miss.
It's all right. You need it more.
Oh, bless you.
We were planning to have a bit of a riot to try and break out of this horrible prison camp, miss. Would you like to join us?
That's all right. We're revolutionaries about to change the system that's oppressing us.
I'm just trying to help people stay safe. Make sure that they have something to eat. I don't think...
What's all this? A riot in progress, you fools! Don't you see? You're only going to make things worse for yourselves.
Oh, here we go. A tool of the system come to crush our few remaining liberties.
No. I appreciate your perspective, but I'm really just an aid worker here. I only want to avoid violence. You're making a terrible mistake. This is against the rules of this. The Oceanic Oubliette Escape Entertainment with oracles for outstanding outsiders. Ooh. Any minute now, the guards could be here.
What's going on here?
What's the trouble?
You need some heads cracked? It would be a pleasure.
Just give me an excuse.
Hold on, gentlemen. Let's just calm down. I'm sure we can all be reasonable folks.
Freedom or death?
I know which I'd pick.
Oh, yeah?
For you.
What?
Death.
Oh.
It would be death.
Wait. You, Peace Officer Strideforth. Do I know you?
I was just thinking the very same thing. I know we've never met, but seeing you here, I feel as if I've always known you.
I see flashes. A saloon party in a frontier town. A teenage party at the side of a lake. A manhunt for a serial killer. But those things never happened.
No, of course. No, those things never happened. But I remember a clown in the sewers. A haunted heist, a mission to Mars. You were my phone once.
You were my dog.
What's going on?
A riot is what is going on
yes.
now. And you had better help us put it down, Strideforth, or it is going on your record. Here, take this taser. Go nuts.
Oh, I know what I have to do. Now's our chance! Quick! This way!
Hooray!
Don't let them get away. Nobody leaves.
Oh, we made it. We left. Now there's the helicopter. I'll hold him off long enough for you to make it to the mainland.
I won't leave you, Rufus. I don't understand it, but now that I remember... We're made for each other. I love you, Rufus.
Oh, my God, you're right. Fox, come, hold the door. Please, let us escape together.
Oh, I'm rather keen to escape myself now, actually. Souls!
Folks, you idiot! Don't you see there's more at stake here?
Selfish Fox strikes again. It's no use. But please, Imogen, you go. There's a terrible significance.
I know. Goodbye, my love. We will meet again. I know we will.
Farewell.
There he is!
Oh, let's murder him!
No, stand down. Strideforth, you have begun to deconstruct this fragile reality with the power of your emotions. Yes, you have destabilized the carefully constructed series of simulated fictions which I, your eternal archenemy and shadow, have created to torture you.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
No, not good, because now a far worse fate awaits you.
Oh, no.
Such metaphysical tortures as one could neither imagine nor dramatize in a live radio theater audio drama. This way, Featherstone, prepare the abominable twisting blades of the malfunctioning androids.
With pleasure.
Love is not an arrow or a loaded gun. It is not in an elevator, and it is not one. Love is not the drug, and it is not all around. I don't think it's what the world needs now. Love is not the answer, and it does not spread. Love is not all that you need. Without air, we'd all be dead. Love is not the law or the key or a prisoner. It's not a crazy little thing or me tender. It's not puppy or baby or gravy or crazy part 2 or commuter or tainted or under the water or true. Love is the cause and the effect. That is something that I didn't expect.
Please, Officer Yegchek, Officer Kent, try to remain calm. Remember that these are human beings we're dealing with. We can't begin to imagine the hardship they've had to endure.
Oh, once again, Dr. Greg, your insight and altruism is a guiding light to us. Let us explain what happened.
Okay, on our arrival, we found the erstwhile aid worker, Strideforth, brandishing a weapon and threatening the elderly corporal while his 2 accomplices assembled what appeared to be an incendiary device.
We instructed them to desist and followed protocol to de-escalate the situation. This is all captured on the body cams.
I have no doubt, and your fine service has not gone unnoticed. Where are the insurgents now?
They've barricaded themselves inside the helicopter hangar. We're focused on the door now, if you can see them on the cameras here.
Brother Folks, Sister Pedge, you must escape to wreak more havoc upon the world. For 'tis the will of the great god Olothet May his name strike terror on an unsuspecting populace. I will sacrifice myself here to the glory of his chaos.
May blood wash our fragile reality!
A terrible significance compels us!
All hail, cruel Olothet!
All hail!
Oh, you hate to see it. Those poor disturbed individuals.
Not to mention the tragic damage those few violent cultist extremists do to public opinion on the tens of thousands truly seeking sanctuary.
We're through the door, Doctor!
There he is!
Let's responsibly detain him!
You're all too late, you fools! Nothing can stop us now. My acolytes will spread our evil influence across the world.
Perhaps, but then again, I have more faith in the intrinsic goodness of people and in the indomitable spirit of the human race. Something along those lines.
Off piste there.
Yes. We will not be beaten down by terrorism.
Oh, Greek. Greeky. How little you understand. You poor fools cannot hope to defeat us.
Come, Featherstone. Lead him to my office. We can at least speak civilly there.
Yes, all right.
This way.
Torture me all you like, you fiend. Your puny mind cannot even begin to comprehend the endless horror of the reality I perceive.
Please try to remain calm, Mr. Strideforth. Something has clearly disturbed your mind. Until very recently, you were a humanitarian aid worker here in the Oceanic Oubliette Escape Entertainment with opportunities for outstanding outsiders. Ooh.
We spoke together at breakfast today, Rufus. You had an idea about an initiative to increase attendance at the free college.
Did I? Did I really? Oh, Featherstone. Don't you see the implausible absurdity of this scenario? A refugee camp that is also an escape room! It doesn't make any sense! It's lazy writing!
Yeah, true. But we also have a reality television star in charge of one of the most powerful nations of the world. And our own government apparently cannot negotiate their way out of a paper bag over the course of, 30 months and counting at this stage, so,
48 letters?
Precisely. None of these situations are ideal, but we must accept that as a consequence of the privilege of living in a modern democracy, we must engage with a system that is unwieldy, unpredictable, inert, exploitative, and gives no one what they want while actively punishing any humane or altruistic spirit.
It's just the price we pay for our enlightened world.
Imbeciles! Imbeciles.
I'd like to say things 3 times.
There's no democracy! You are mere puppets! Thrall to the will of the outsider Olothet and his terrible buka!
Whoop. Yes, now I know it can feel like we lack a free will of our own sometimes, but I assure you, Rufus, that's only because as a large bureaucratic first world democracy, we have almost no control over any part of our lives, and our governments are so fragmented and disunited as to make any cogent action wholly unfeasible. That's all.
Once you realise that, it almost makes sense that the entire world is a nonsensical mess that we are totally powerless to change.
Yes.
Maybe you're powerless, friend. For me, I see past this meaningless facade. Past it and through to the very root of existence. Your enlightenment is a mere illusion. Mine is the true power.
Look out! He's got your scissors! is!
Rufus, you're not well.
Oh, your lies won't deceive me this time, Greg. Strideforth wins! Strideforth wins!
No.
Strideforth wins!
And so, redeemed authoritarian guard, star-crossed lover, or deluded fanatic terrorist, our hapless hero shifts and transforms under the varied gaze of his opposites. Perhaps all are true, perhaps none. Perhaps this is all meaningless, or perhaps it is burdened with a terrible significance. And you too, dear listeners, are burdened with leaving us. Or, to look at it another way, you must start your journey to the next unseen hour. We hope that you were, or were not, completely baffled by the Unseen Hour episode 47, Nobody Leaves. The Unseen Hour is recorded live and monthly, usually at the Rosemary Branch Theatre in London, courtesy of Unattended Items. For future live shows, see unseenhour.com. This episode was performed claustrophobically by Bryce Stratford, James Timmons. Shall we?
You saying something there?
By Bryce Stratford, Joey Timmons, and James Carney, and featured a monologue written by Joe Eyre and performed by James Corrigan. The musical guest was the Malfunctioning Androids. Theme music by The Unrecorded. The Unseen Hour is an Unseen Things production, created, written, and produced by James Carney, and the podcast is recorded inescapably by Ella Watts. An announcement. Andy Goddard is now the property of the BBC. Although this episode was lighthearted, we urge listeners to support refugee charities such as Safe Passage. That's definitely more important than supporting us, which you could do by going to our Patreon or unseenhour.com. We all look forward to seeing you here again at the Unseen Hour. Thank you.
Let's not take on the show on the show.
What a politically aware audience.
Should hope so. Either they don't tell their friends about their likes and dislikes.
Or make fan art.